Shaitan!
Palestine!
Say Shaitan!
Palestine!
Irish government, do your job! Sorry, lads. Irish government, shut your gob!
Sanction Israel, do your job!
Irish government, shut your gob!
Sanction Israel, do your job!
Say Shaitan!
Palestine!
Say Shaitan!
Palestine!
Gaza has happened 1,000 times over. It is the villages, the towns and the cities on which Israel is now built. We must oppose that state not just in their occupation, not just in their genocide, but in their existence. Because it is predicated on violence, dependent on it. It needs it to exist. Akarja, it is now my pleasure to introduce TD Paul Murphy from People Before Profit.
I had the privilege of spending about 2 weeks in Tunis with many of the heroes who are now being kidnapped by Israel. They're ordinary people, they're extraordinary people, but they're ordinary people in the jobs that they do. They're civil servants, they're nurses, they're poets, and they're from literally all over the world. I think we got 47 countries, reflecting a global movement of resistance to genocide, to Zionism, and to imperialism. And in all of our trainings for the mission, what we discussed again and again is that we had two goals for our mission. The first was to open a people's humanitarian corridor to bring aid, to bring food, to bring medicine, to bring baby formula to a people who are being systematically starved and slaughtered by Israel. And watching people gathering on the beach of Gaza, or the beaches of Gaza, and waiting, you know, we know the truth, that mission, that part of the mission has not been achieved. That we haven't been able to break the blockade. Israel, in its military might, has been able once again to stop the aid and to continue the slaughter and the starvation. But there's also a second part of the mission and a second aim, which was to highlight Western governments' complicity in this genocide and to build pressure to stop this genocide. And I think we have to say to the participants on the flotilla and to all those who support them, your mission has not been in vain. Your mission, in that sense, has been successful. Because the global Samud flotilla, to which 28,000 people incredibly applied to join, has given a new impetus into the movement of global resistance to Zionism and to genocide. It's incredible. I mean, without the flotilla, there wouldn't have been the general strike last Monday of Italian workers against genocide, which has opened a new chapter. And it was inspiring last night, while on the one hand watching the live feed from the boats and the Israeli soldiers boarding and kidnapping the people on those boats, but on the other hand then seeing spontaneous protests break out literally all across the globe under the slogan, "Block Everything." The Italian unions have called a general strike for tomorrow. They've occupied a train station now. Well, that's exactly the point. And I think the lesson for us here is how can we build a movement that can block everything here? There's no question that that's absolutely what is required. So we have this protest today. I think Saturday's IPSC protest is absolutely crucial. It's 2-year anniversary of the start of this genocide. I think we can have many, many tens of thousands of people on the streets on Saturday. But we have to say beyond that, we need workers' action. We need strike action like we're seeing in Italy. We need strike action here. And on the 16th of October, the healthcare workers for Palestine have called such a day for workers' action. We need to start where we can with walkouts out of workplaces and people saying to their unions, yes, it's great that you're on the protest, it's great you're mobilising people, but we need to use our power as workers to shut things down in response to this genocide. The final point I'll make, we need to be clear on this. The so-called peace plan is an obscenity. It's an obscenity, and it's a disgrace that we have an Irish government thanking it, welcoming it, thanking Donald Trump for his role in it. We have to tell the truth. This is not about peace. It's about a colonial carve-up. It has nothing to do with peace whatsoever. It's negotiated between the two powers most responsible for the genocide. It's negotiated between Netanyahu, who's directing the genocide, and Donald Trump, who is funding and arming the genocide. No mention within the peace plan of any right of the Palestinian people to select their own representatives. Instead, they're going to have viceroys imposed on them. Donald Trump, Tony Blair, a war criminal who should be rotting in prison, not imposed as a dictator. In the text of the peace plan, a special economic zone, a new development plan. In other words, Trump's Gaza Riviera plan. It is an absolute obscenity. We need to be clear about that. This is not peace. It's a continued colonial carve-up. And one of its purposes is to try and demobilise people. They are now scared. You know, it's not for nothing. The Italian government didn't send naval ships because they support the Palestinian people. They oppose the Palestinian people. Similarly in terms of Spain, similarly in terms of Turkey, similarly in terms of the actions our own governments are taking. Any actions only are as a result of the movement from below and an attempt to tell people to stop. We're having an impact, but we need to continue to mobilise, and we need to follow the example of the Italian workers and take workplace action to shut things down. Thank you very much.
From the river to the sea!